divulge some information that a lot of people don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've just been in this space of, well, I just been in this space of where I just needed to be by myself for a while
Mm-hmm.
and, relax. So, for our friends and family that are hearing this, I apologize in advance that you just now knowing what's been going on with me. I got my pride, I will not cry, but it's making me weak. I'm not your superwoman. I'm not the kind of girl that you could let down and think that everything's okay. Boy, I am only human. This girl needs more than occasional hugs as a token of love from you to me. Ooh, baby. Yeah. Yeah.
That was smooth.
That was smooth.
That was smooth.
I did that.
You did that.
I ate.
You did. Yo, everybody. It's your boy Marquis.
And this is your one and only your favorite Taylor.
And we're back with the You Stuck With Me podcast.
You stuck. You stuck with me.
So based on how you were singing, I'm assuming that you feel good.
I feel better. I'm in a better space.
That's all I need to hear.
Yeah, I'm in a better space.
I'm in a better space with you, babe. I'm in a better space with you. So, y'all, in this episode, we're going to get to talking about something that is very interesting. It's a very interesting concept.
Very interesting. Y'all get to know a little bit more of my business, too.
So, you want to start off the story, since it's pertaining to you?
I like it when you start off the stories.
Okay, so.
But I got to put a disclaimer out first.
Go ahead.
So, I'm about to indulge some information that a lot of people don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've just been in this space of, I just been in this space of where I just needed to be by myself for a while
Mm-hmm.
and, relax. So for our friends and family that are hearing this, I apologize in advance that you just now knowing what's been going on with me. It's nothing personal, but I just needed the time to, regroup? What was that whole thing with Whitney was talking about? Relax, relate, release.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead.
So I want to say this started about almost 2 weeks ago. Almost 2 weeks ago?
About a
week and a half. About a week and a half ago. So middle of the night, we're sleeping, and she wakes up, and she just starts scratching on her left arm. Couldn't figure out what it was, but we noticed that she had a rash.
Like breaking out to straight hives.
Yeah. So we're looking like, what is this? And we initially thought that it might have been
mosquito bites because they were that big.
Yeah, but the thing about it was when you sit there and think about it, because it's cold outside, mosquitoes really haven't been outside like that, or haven't been out there at all for that matter.
Yeah, but then I remember I was talking about, well, it could be some that's lingering around the house because, when we cook and stuff, like little house bugs, stuff like that. But
So we were looking around. We're like, there's nothing in the house that we noticed. We didn't see any bugs or anything like that. So this was the first night. The next night we noticed that she was having the same issues, but they were bites. And she's like, she actually brought up the idea of bed bugs. I'm like, no, I know for a fact that we don't have bed bugs.
And baby, we went to checking.
Yeah, we went to checking
because we don't do that.
Yeah, so prior to us dating, we've each had our own separate bouts with bed bugs.
Yeah.
So when she first said that, I started looking at our sheet because generally, I don't mean to gross anyone out, but generally with bed bugs, they bite and they'll leave little traces of blood on your sheet. So first thing we did was look at the sheet. There were no traces of blood. And then I started looking around our mattress, and bed bugs tend to hide.
And we did this more than once.
Yeah, we did this more than once. We didn't see any type of evidence of bed bugs. Looked around baseboards, checked underneath the mattress pad, all that stuff.
And then we started to notice the bites that I was getting were not a bed bug because usually they're a little bit more smaller and more clustered together. So it was like I was having these like in different parts of my body.
Right. So once we realized that it wasn't bed bugs, thank God for that. We were like, okay, so what else could it be? And then we realized that we had taken out a comforter that we hadn't used in a while. So maybe we thought it was a comforter. So what we also did, that this was the third night. Third night, we decided to take that comforter and we washed it and did everything that we were supposed to do to make sure it wasn't good. It was good.
Then we thought it was detergent. I'm like, no, because we've been using this
The same.
detergent for a while. And then I'm like, well, if there's detergent, it wouldn't just now be happening.
Yeah, because like you said, we've been using it for a good minute. So I think by what was that, day 5? That's when you finally were able to go to see a doctor about it.
No, you're missing a part because it was a chain of unfortunate events. So day 5 through like day 8 and 9, remember my knee swelled up.
Oh yeah. How can I forget that part?
I don't know. So my knee, my right knee. So I don't know if y'all remember, like in the last 2 episodes, I said I'm sitting here on a brace now. That was real life. So my knee had been bothering me. Like I was having like this pain, like I had hit it or, doing some strenuous activity. I really wasn't doing anything. So at first we thought it was because of the way I was sitting at the birthday party, the birthday dinner we went to. Come to find out it wasn't. So here's Sunday morning. I'm thinking I'm about to go to church, watch football and stuff. Like go out to watch football. Nope, my knee was like, oh, you thought. It was like swelled up to like a size of what? Like an orange, probably a little bit more than an orange. And it was like on this particular part of my knee. So I went to the urgent care. They was like, oh, it's just tendonitis. I'm like, come on now, tendonitis. I haven't had that in years. Okay. So side note, and that's one thing I've learned about urgent care. So you can only go to urgent care. So I'm hoping I'm helping somebody out right now. You can only go to urgent care with one main concern.
Which is wild.
Because I told them I was having hives. I was breaking out. You could clearly see it. And my knee was swelled up. Then I went to the register and they was like, well, with urgent care, we can only do one primary concern. I was like, well, shit, I can't walk, so I guess it's my knee today.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then finally, I was able to get a doctor's, that's when I went in for my primary care, my annual exam. Baby, let me tell you, that's when more problems arose.
Oh, Lord.
So my knee, we don't know why my knee was swelled, so I have a orthopedic appointment for that. It's speculated that the welts that I was having, well, I'm still having the breakouts, but they're not as bad.
They're actually smaller, almost to the point where you can't even see
them.
them.
You can't really see them. So
that's a very good thing.
That's a very good thing. So it's speculated that I'm having eczema, but we don't know for sure because now I got a different appointment with a dermatologist. I hope y'all still following with me because it was a lot. What else did we talk about? Oh, so this is why knowing about your health history is important. So, of course, the doctor asked me different questions about family history, about health. So, unfortunately, heart disease runs in my family. And I guess you could say a little bit of history of cancer because I did have an aunt that passed away that succumbed to pancreatic cancer. So between that and then the heart issues that my grandmother and your mother-in-law was going on, that causes concern, especially in African Americans. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So I had to have blood work done. My blood pressure was checked, and I had some immunizations.
But wasn't your blood pressure normal?
No, my blood pressure was a little elevated.
Okay.
But I didn't really get into much I didn't really think too much of that because when you're in pain, your blood pressure is going to be elevated.
Yeah.
Right? So, got the blood work back a couple days later. But first, before we get in there, so now the doctor's telling me, oh, you might need to get this immunization. We can do the flu today. We can do hepatitis A, all this other stuff.
And when he said that, I'm like, hepatitis A.
Yeah, so we also learned something else, too. And hepatitis A is one of those shots that you get when you're younger. Like, if you recall when you would, like, had to get a physical to do sports in elementary school, that's one of those things. Because you can get, a lot of people associate hepatitis A with, like, sexual activity. No. Hepatitis A is what you can get in food.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's always good to wash your hands, cross-contaminate, and watch out for cross-contamination and everything like that.
Wash your food if you need to.
Yeah,
like
wash your food.
Fish, chicken, because salmonella.
Yeah, because you can contract hepatitis A.
Mm-hmm. Now to let you guys know, when we cook, we actually wash our food, whether it's chicken, whether it's salmon, whatever it is. We if it's poultry or anything like that, we are heavy on the washing.
Yeah, it's not just like home cooked foods because you know how you see what you're doing, but you got to be more careful when you go to like these grocery stores when they give you free samples, and also into restaurants because you don't know.
Yeah,
that's what that mainly was about.
I see where you're going because but when you mention hepatitis A, you got to also think about what you got to clean with your food. So it's not just salmon, it's not just chicken, but you got vegetables,
basically everything.
You got fruit, all that stuff. That's
everything that you consume. Mm-hmm. But we got to continue the story because the people was like, okay, what's the point of the story?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened with Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to continue on what happened, or you want me to go ahead and break down the laundry list of things?
I'm going to let you break down the laundry list since I introduced the story.
Okay. So a couple days later, go on my chart. Okay. So I'm sharing this in hopes to help somebody because I know it's a lie and you probably like, oh, she's selling her business. So I found out I was not immune to hepatitis A.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as this recording is happening, I'm not immune to it, but I've been in the process of getting those immunizations. I think it's like a time period of 2 shots in a 6 to 12 month span.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I had my first one, so now I can't get the next one between 6 to 12 months. Okay. So this is number 1. Number 2, found out I have high cholesterol.
And that was a shocker.
It was a shocker for the both of us.
So, ever since she found out that she's had high cholesterol.
Wait. Before, because I know where you're going. Because remember, high cholesterol is connected to something else. Remember, so high cholesterol. I'm low on vitamin D at this point.
Oh yeah.
So not only that, the doctor's telling me, oh, you need to get these shots. You need to take these supplements. And I don't know if we ever even finally post that video. I made a video where I just broke down. I was like, I told Marquis, this is a lot. I did not come here for this. So hence why we chose Superwoman, because it brought me back to the mind state of I've helped take care of Marquis and be his support system, that in the midst of it, I forgot to take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm in the space of where I'm going back to self-care and take care of myself. It was just a wake-up call, like, sis, you should have did this sooner rather than later. So I'm just sitting in this doctor's office, and I broke down. And I told you, I said, I am tired of being Superwoman, because not only I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with the stress of work. I'm dealing with the stress of making sure I'm a good supportive friend, sister, wife, all this. And I'm not afraid to admit I'm the type of person that I will want to hear about what's going on with you before I start talking about myself, because it distracts me from that.
There's a saying that I've been seeing like on social media memes, and it's always a picture of a lion, and it says, don't forget to check on your strong friends because they are going through battles that people don't know about.
And baby, I'm that strong friend that's been going through battles. I'm trying not to cry now because it's like
it's emotional.
It's emotional. It's a lot, right? And it took me a while to even feel comfortable talking about it. But after talking to you, I'm like, there could be other women out here going through that.
And not realize what's going on.
They probably feel like they're crazy, that they don't have nobody to talk to, or when we talk about emotions, the first thing that's associated with is hormones, or we're PMS. And no.
I think for women, well, let me backtrack before I say it. I think that it's important that you have someone who is going to be there to help you emotionally to sort out how you feel and listen to what you're saying and going through. Basically, you need a strong support system.
Right. But the thing about that is, and I wholeheartedly agree with you, but when you've been in this mindset, or when you've been in a space where it's always been on you, and you've been the strong person, and you've been in a what's the word I'm looking for, in a mindset that if you cry or show any type of emotion, that's a weakness, and you're afraid somebody's gonna take advantage of that. That's like a bad habit that's hard to break.
Well, I first of all, I agree with you. Second of all, when it pertains to you, I think you've actually been doing a great job of letting go and letting people know like, hey, I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling my best. So, and this actually goes back to what we were talking about. If it wasn't the last episode, but 2 episodes ago, you need to give yourself credit. You need to give yourself credit, but also remember that you're not going through this alone. You have a whole husband who is going to go through the storms and weather them with you. You are not alone.
I received that, and I appreciate it. Now, I will say, mixed in with all of that, and a bit being the holidays, I think I'm a person that kind of suffers a little bit from seasonal depression. Not to say that I'm like clinically depressed or anything like that. I haven't been diagnosed with that, but the holidays are triggering for me a little bit still,
Understandably so.
right? So like just dealing with that, and now these health problems and the stresses of the world, and everything. It's a lot. Now, I will say this though: the bright spot about all this was while I'm sitting there crying, wiping my face in the doctor's office. The bright spot was you, because I remember the first thing you told me was like, "We got this,"
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Babe, I don't want to burden you with that." And then that's when I had to remember in therapy,
You're
I am
not a
not a
burden.
burden.
Exactly.
I am not a burden, and that's what you're here for.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finally remembered that, and I was like, babe, this is a lot, and I broke down and cried, I felt like a release. And, having that assurance of, we got this instead of you got this.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're going to do this together. And, we decided I'm going to go ahead and go through the little depression phase. I think we only allow myself to have it for 2 days, because I'm not that person that like to stay in a funk.
Well, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's change the language, because I don't think that it was depression, but you are entitled to your emotions and able to feel what you need to feel, and give yourself that time to let it all out. Because if you have pent up emotions, it's just gonna compile, and one thing's gonna add to another, and it's just gonna be a complete breakdown one
Okay,
day.
let's say I was emotionally overwhelmed.
Fair. That's a good way to put it.
I was emotionally overwhelmed of the situation that was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and that's also a backlog of everything that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I will say this: it still feel a little uncomfortable talking about it. Like I'm really fighting back tears.
I see
Right,
that. I see that.
right.
I'm gonna say this also. I understand that it's emotional for you to talk about and you're fighting back tears, but also you coming out and saying something like you said earlier. You don't know who you're helping. Just by you telling your story is making this probably easier. We don't know. Probably easier for somebody else, because just you letting people know that they're not alone. Somebody else is realizing that they're not alone.
Yeah. But again, it's hard. It's hard to let go of the Superwoman complex.
I understand that, because, and I think this for you is what the diagnosis of cancer was for me, and I'm about to break it down to you. When they first told me that I was diagnosed with leukemia, prior to that, I had the Superman complex. I felt like I didn't have to sit down, that I could do everything, that I was just going to be able to run around, do stuff, and there was going to be no consequence. Boy, was I wrong. Now I am an advocate. If I need to sit down, I'm going to sit down, whether you like it or not. What I feel is what I feel. And that's why I'm telling you, and I'm glad that you're letting this be known. What you feel is what you feel. If you feel like you need to sit down, do not hesitate, because if you don't sit down, your body will sit you down for you.
Baby, I think it already started.
Just not to the degree that it did for me. And I'm glad that you don't have to go through that, and I don't have to see that, because two of us can't be down at the same time.
Oh, we've learned that.
Yes.
We've learned that. But you're correct in that. I wholeheartedly agree, because it's like I'm hearing high cholesterol, I'm hearing history of heart problems, I'm hearing you gotta eat right, you gotta move and stuff like that. That's just reminiscing of what happened between my mom and my well, mainly my mom, because my mom had cardiac issues, and just like seeing her take all these medications and stuff, and walk around like everything's okay, when inside she wanted to scream. And I think that's part of where I get it from. And I'm learning now, like I'm learning now that doesn't work for me. And shout outs to one of my good friends, Jasmine. We had a talk about this. I talked to her about situations, because unfortunately me and her have I don't want to say trauma bond. We have the understanding of how it is to lose parents at a certain age and everything like that.
So she can relate to you best.
So she could relate to me best. So one of the things that she said that stuck out to me the most was, our parents and grandparents didn't have the resources like we do now, right? You can turn around, there's apps for like therapy and to track movement and stuff like that, right? So we be doing ourselves an injustice of not taking advantage of the resources that we have to take care of ourselves.
Agreed.
Right? So, and then also too, you gotta remember too, what happened to them, rest their souls and everything like that.
Does not have to be
my story. So that whole conversation and that whole piece of advice she gave me, that really resonated with me.
I'm glad, because, and I will also add to, if I was there when you guys were having that conversation, I will also add to it. Don't do what I did, because.
Well, you tell me that now.
Yeah, I still tell you that now, even 6 years later. Don't do what I did, because you wouldn't, the stuff that I've been through, I wouldn't want nobody to go through. So I'm glad that you, at least in this space, have been able to not have to learn the hard lesson like I did.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that not only that you didn't have to learn the same hard lesson, you're in the space where you have her and you have me to help you go through this. And now we could talk about how, with this information that we have, how we've been able to alter your diet, how we've been able to, get you to work out some more, because we were already going to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. So now at this point, according to your doctor, you should be going 5 times a week, which is not a bad thing, which is very easy to do, especially with our schedules. So, you want to talk about the eating part first?
Yeah, we can talk about that. But before we go into that, I thank you. I thank her, and then just the whole village of people that knew. Because again, I had to give a disclaimer, like, we have family members and friends that don't know what's going on, but they're gonna know now. So I'm all ready for the calls and text messages, like, how come you didn't tell me that you were mentally going through this or physically going through this?
So I'm gonna say this right now on your behalf. Please don't be mad at her. Please don't be mad at her.
Charge it to my head, not my heart.
So,
but the eating part. So, with high cholesterol, so I'm just been staying away from a lot of dairy. I've been laying off cheese. Not to say I completely cut out cheese. I just been eating in moderation. And also there's substitutes of cheese. Like I could do Swiss. I can do ricotta. And basically, just think of it as like a heart-friendly diet. Like instead of using seasoning salt, because I love Lawry's on my chicken and stuff. But we just been substituting for like Mrs. Dash and eat more fruits and leafy greens and nuts and legumes.
And also, don't forget the raisins, the yogurt.
Yeah.
So we've been able to find some great substitute for her where she doesn't have to starve, but she will still get the cholesterol lowering
Options.
options that options that you need.
Yeah.
And also, you've been drinking cucumber lemon water.
Yeah, like I've been drinking more water. Not saying that I haven't been drinking water, but it's just I'm more pumping more of the water and more of like cranberry juice, just juice that's like low in sugar.
Also, been staying away from the mashed potatoes, the macaroni,
the starches,
bread, rice. But she's been making a lot of progress, y'all. She's been doing very well. It's a journey. It's an
hell of a
journey. Yeah,
hell of a journey.
I can relate to it because right after I received the diagnosis, I had to change my diet.
Yeah.
For a while I was eating organic foods, soy, which are all good, y'all. If you guys haven't tried organic foods or like soy meat, soy burgers, soy hot dogs, those are actually good. It's a good healthy substitute.
I don't know about the soy dogs because I don't prefer that, but I like the turkey dogs.
Turkey dogs because we started getting the turkey dogs from
and
Whole
the chicken
Foods.
sausage.
Yeah, so we did a lot of substitutes to make sure that we are heart healthy because we owe it to each other to be our best, and we're trying to be here for a long time, not just a good time.
And Marquis already told me several times I need to get my shit together. Only because I've told him that I told him that through his recovery. I mean, it sounds terrible, but if you know us, you know why I say that, and he know I come from a loving place. So all the stuff that I told him when he was in recovery and wanted to give up, he's telling me now. So I guess I'm getting a dose of my own medicine.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to tell you to take your own advice. Get your shit together, cause we ain't going through this no more.
But
no buts except yours.
I didn't plan on this.
I didn't plan on it, but you still tell me the same thing.
Hey, you done what I said. You got your shit together. I guess it's time for me to get my shit together too.
Damn right.
Oh, so the good news is my knee is no longer swollen. I'm off a brace.
Praise the Lord.
I do have my appointment with one of the mini specialists start next week. So
the little rashes that you had at the beginning are now almost invisible.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and document, the journey of, I don't want to say recovery, but
it is recovery.
Well, yeah, or the start of becoming a brand new Taylor, new and improved Taylor. Yeah, new and improved Taylor.
So on that note, you guys, Babe, you want to tell them where they can find us?
You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok, and most importantly on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook on the You Stuck With Me podcast page, and you want to tell them where you can find us on Instagram?
Instagram, you can just type in You Stuck With Me _podcast, USTUCKWITME _podcast. You can reach us at our email at youstuckwithme@gmail.com. That is USTUCKWITME@gmail.com. You can send us sticky notes there, send us sticky notes on our Facebook page.
Or ask us any questions or any advice. I mean, we're not experts, but we would love to give our 2 cents to help you out. Or share more stories like this with y'all.
Especially since we've been through some things. You can find me on Instagram at mine_1. Also the same thing as the app formerly known as Twitter, mine M1NE _1.
And you can find me on Instagram and the app formerly known as Twitter under Queen Points. That's PO1NTZ. Again, that is Queen Points, PO1NTZ. And if you want some more behind the scenes stuff, of how we do our little karaoke warm-ups and all that goodness and lusciousness, you can follow us on TikTok under Queen Points 22. And also make sure you check us out on YouTube under the You Stuck With Me podcast page as well.
Yeah, because not only we introducing our episodes, we're introducing shorts, so you can see some other things from us.
Oh, yeah.
And
don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And, just make sure you share all this with all your friends and family.
Especially if you're on Apple.
Yes.
So from us, from the You Stuck With Me podcast, it's your boy Marquis.
And this is your one and only, your favorite Taylor.
And we out.
Hey, Come back.
You stuck with us.
You stuck. You
Peace.
stuck. Peace.
Later.